So yeah, I'm just doing a little bit of a walk right now, and I wanted to share with you some insight on life. You know, the older you get, the more comfortable humans become. You know, they make routines and patterns out of everyday life. TV, social media, sitting down, couch potato, keeping it safe, keeping it comfortable, not challenging themselves, just kind of like living that life that is docile. Now, you're right. In that life, it's very predictable, and there's not a lot going on. And in that, there's some safety, etc. Right? But the longer I've lived, I'm 39 years old, I learned that in being in that docile state, you know, everything in life is a give and take. So yeah, fine. You have that safety type. But when God tells us to step out and do challenging things, that's where the experience and the expedition and the journey is, where the heart starts to race and the adrenaline starts to run. And I'm convinced, guys, that life is all about taking yourself to places that are uncomfortable, experiencing that, and learning about yourself and about Jesus in the process, instead of looking at it like it's too hard or it's scary, etc., to talk yourself out of it. You know, like I said, I've lived long enough to see that in a docile state, in a comfortable state, what doesn't happen is that people are bored, and people don't really look forward to anything in life, and they get in a state of depression, and they get in a state of life sucks mentality type of thing. Because when you just do 3 or 4 or 5 things on a list every day, and it's predictable, those things lose its essence or its meaning. And we got to shake it up, and we got to mix it up, so to speak. Evangelism is fun. It really is fun. I believe that God created us to engage with one another. So just going up to a stranger and talking to a stranger, not about the weather, but talking to a stranger in a way to get to know them and them to get to know you. We're so isolated as human beings, at least here in Florida, Miami, Florida, that's how it is. Not a lot of people engage with one another. You're lucky if you get a good morning. So there's life in these places of engaging with one another, talking with one another. You know, it doesn't always have to be about you when you make it about somebody else. Because usually the way it goes is that when you make it about you, you're targeting a human being for what they could do for you, and the conversation is based around selfishness. So once you see that they got what you want or they don't got what you want, the conversation tends to draw to an end somewhere around that area. But when you make the target or the goal something broader and bigger and more special than just what you could get, then there's meaning there. There's purpose there. Because you're growing something and you're building something. You're building a relationship. And so what this video is about is putting yourself in positions to drawing life out of existence. We're existing here in reality. We look around. It's a beautiful, look at the beauty, right? The nature. It's a beautiful park, right? I like it. But this is the thing, right? If you're isolated in this park, it doesn't become as life-giving. But if you engage with other people and you want to talk to people about Jesus, and now you've brought life within a beautiful kind of like the scenery, you brought more life into it, right? And I just had in my mind and my heart this recurring thing that God keeps bringing up to me, that challenges are good. Anything that is challenging is very, very, very good. But most people, the devil has tricked them and deceived them into saying challenge, hard, bad, stay away. And they run away from challenges. And it doesn't matter what challenge we're really talking about, because challenges make you grow. Challenges allow you to see more of life and more of yourself. Life is within the challenge. Change the way you're looking at stuff, man. Wayne Dyer, Dr. Wayne Dyer used to say, when you change the way you look at stuff, the way you look at stuff changes. Meaning, if you look at stuff from one side and you think this is empty, void, dumb, nothing is here, then that's what it's going to be for you. But when you change the way you're looking at it, the way that you're looking at it, that stuff speaks to you different language back to you. And it starts to reflect either beauty or horror according to how you view it. So there's a lot of programming in this world. You're programmed from the day you're born to think a certain type of way according to the current. You see everybody going around the, you know what I noticed? Like I go to the gym and I go to areas. Have you noticed that celebrities, they dress flashy and they're known for it? Very colorful dress code, etc. And when they go out into public, they're bold. They don't care what people think, etc. They got this outlook on life that's different than the majority of the people. People praise them for that because they don't think that they can do that, because they're wrapped up in their feelings and in their perception that the world cares so much, and they have, so much pull on their identity that they give in to the norm of what everybody else is doing, so that they don't stand out. And then by default, they're not challenged, or they're not tested, or they're not, any one of those things that, like make you stand out. But I notice, you go to these different areas and you only see one or two people really being themselves, expressive towards what they like. They might be different than everybody else, but for the most part, everybody kind of mixes in and nobody stands out. But I feel like God called us all to stand out in our very unique way, and that you hold so many gifts and so much uniqueness within you that God wants you to express that to the world, and you added beauty to the world by way of your expression. So then look at that outlook versus the outlook of, I'll be judged, or I'll be criticized for wearing this, or saying this, or thinking this, etc. And so it's like criticism comes anyways, doesn't it? Like when you are dressed that way, they criticize you anyways. And when whatever you say or think, or you're criticized anyways. They're called haters. You probably met one or two in your life. Haters hate, and that's what they do. But we got to get over our ego and our pride and our image, and we matter so much. In one sense, we matter a lot, but not in the way that you think. We don't matter so much in contribution to what we look like. We matter so much from what we can pour into this world to make it a better place. From that standpoint, we matter a lot. But from the matter of what people care so much about, of look, I got a tattoo, or look, I'm wearing this, or look, I just bought this bracelet, or look, I got, that doesn't matter, dude. That does not matter. Who cares about that? Worms are gonna be eating this body, I don't know how many years. I don't want to prophesy, but definitely 100 years from now, this body's gonna, be in the ground. But you have to understand that all this is vanity, 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 vanity. So what am I trying to do? I'm trying to pull you out of this warped-mindedness of thinking everybody's looking at me, and everybody's talking, everybody's thinking, and everybody's judging. And it's like, get out of that. Get out of that mentality and start living the purpose that God has called you to live, but also be happy in who you are, who you were created to be. Walk in your identity. And if it's different than everybody else, know that deserves an applause, a celebration. Man, you dress different. I like that. I like lions, right? Like I dress everything up with, look, you see this lion? I dress my car up with Jesus and I wear, like, I am very expressive because I know who I am, so I don't need validation. But I want to teach that to other people. Yeah, I don't, I don't want to be so cool. I don't want you to like me and say, wow, you're so cool. I wish I was like you. No, I want you to be like you. I don't want you to grow, spread your wings, fly, and be who you are. And then I can celebrate you. While you may celebrate me, but I can celebrate you. I don't want it to be about one person. I want it to be about a collective. Because God gave you stuff that is beautiful. I want you to be expressive about it. I don't want you to hold it back no more. I want you to be the person that is creative. You're creative on the inside. And you hold it back from the world every single day. And you're doing the world a disservice. And you're doing yourself a disservice. Because when you think about it, you only live one life. And in this one life, you're wasting it. Thinking that everybody cares so much. And they're going to have an opinion. And so what if they do? So what if they do? Right? You got to get to a point where you draw conclusions from what matters really in life. What matters really in life is God, yourself, because you got to live with yourself. So being kind to yourself, loving toward yourself, right? People that love themselves, people that are kind to themselves, draw that energy from other people. And if those people are the opposite, they're treating you like garbage, hey, I don't have to be here. I can cut you off. See ya. I was gonna say sayonara. See ya. Peace out. Cut off. That's it. Hey, listen. I'm gonna leave you guys with this. You can know a lot of people, a lot of acquaintances, smile, shake hands. You can love people, but you don't got to bring them so close in your inner circle. Okay? Jesus, when he was walking with his disciples, he called Peter, James, and John. And he said, come with me. He left the other disciples behind. Because he understood the matters of the heart. He understood who was ready for what. And these disciples were closer to Jesus than the rest of them. We understand that Thomas was, I don't like to put him as the title Doubting Thomas. And even though he inherited that by way of culture nowadays, because he doubted that Jesus rose from the dead. But different disciples, they were in different places, right? The sons of thunder, they wanted to call lightning and fire from heaven to consume their enemies. They were in a different place in their faith. They were in a different place in their faith, meaning they were walking with Jesus, but where they were at here and here was different than where Peter was at, and James and John. John would lie his head on the bosom of Jesus while he would talk. And he was known as the disciple that loved Jesus. That was his reputation. Peter was the one that said, get me out of the boat. Let me walk with you on the water. Like he was bold. He got crucified upside down because he said, I'm not worthy to go out like my Savior and my Lord. Let me kill me a different way. That was passion, dedication, zeal, heart. And so Jesus saw this, and so he called them out from a group of them, and he said, you guys, I'm going to do something special right now, and I want you guys to see it. The rest of them, they're not ready for this. Likewise, in your life, not everybody's meant to be in your inner circle, guys. They can walk with you, and you can go about life, etc. High fives and shaking hands and smiling. You don't have to tell them your personal stuff. You don't have to share with them intimate secrets and details. You don't have to tell them anything. You got to keep people according to their fruit, where they belong. What kind of fruit are they bearing? Oh, this is a gossiper. You want to give a gossiper a lot of leverage to work against you? They gossip against other people in your face, and you think that he's not going to do the same thing with your business to other people? No, of course he is, right? Or she is. So you want to understand these fundamentals, and you want to keep people where they belong, right? You can still be nice. You can still be, you with them, have conversations casually. But you want to know who you could bring to what location and where, and bring in terms of intimacy of heart, the heart matters. You want to know who you can talk to, and who, you know, and who you should refrain. So with that, guys, I end this conversation. God bless you. I love you guys. Care about you. I started a program. I started a life architect. It's life coaching, but I call it life architect. I build identity. I build, mind you, okay, why am I able to do this? Because I was one of the most broken human beings on the face of the planet once upon a time. No identity, no direction, no compass, no moral compass, no nothing. I actually on the opposite end. Many of you know my testimony. Thought that being bad was good, and I got really good at being bad. Without making this video too much longer, I would just say that I started a program about helping individuals find their roots, find their identity. Okay, I have everything laid out there. If you want to be part of it, just comment below and we'll get you started. I do charge because I also have to feed my family. Okay, I would like to make everything free. I make a lot of videos here for free, for you guys for free, but I also have to feed my family, and I hope you understand that. So God bless you guys. Love you. And if you want to be part of this life architect, I promise you it'll bless you. I promise you you'll be better off, and you'll go forward like with this confidence and with this understanding behind matters. Okay, and it can only help you to blossom. Okay, I have different packages. I'll just say this because maybe by now you're thinking, well, I want to sign up, and your next question is how much. It starts from 100 and it goes all the way to thousands. Okay, according to what you want. Okay, so there's payment plans if you can't afford, etc. You can pay as you go, etc. Okay, God bless you guys. Love you. Bye-bye.